Larry Dimmitt and Louis, the Rotary International President's representative to our district conference. A member of the Topeka, Kansas, USA Rotary Club since 1983, he served as District Governor of District 5710 in 2006 and 7. He was District Foundation Chair and also served as Zone 27 Rotary Foundation Alumni Coordinator, Assistant Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator, Paul Harris Society Coordinator, and Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator. He served as General Chair of the 2014 Zones 21B 27 Institute. In 2015 to 2017, he was a member of Rotary International Joint Committee on Alumni Relations and served as Vice Chair of the 2017 to 2018 Joint Young Leader and Alumni Engagement Committee. He is currently the sitting Rotary International Director for 2018-20. Larry has been on several service missions to Panama and has prepared numerous international grant applications, including those for India, Bangladesh and Pakistan. He's a Paul Harris Fellow, a benefactor, a member of the Bequest Society, a member of the Paul Harris Society, a major donor, and actively supports the Topeka Rotary Foundation. He and Louis have been inducted into the Arch Clump Society. He has been awarded the Rotary Foundation Citation for Meritorious Service and the Distinguished Service Award. Larry is a retired attorney and he and Louis have two grown children, Cindy and Michael. They enjoy traveling and have been to many international Rotary conventions where Larry has been a breakout panelist and institute facilitator. Ladies and gentlemen, please join your hands to welcome our chief guest, current RI Director and RI President's representative to our conference, Larry Dimmitt and Louis.
May I request our Rotary International President's representative to please address the gathering. Larry, all yours.
Good morning. District Governor Hajit, RI Director Bharat, fellow Rotarians, ladies and gentlemen, and friends. Lois and I are so happy to be here with you today, and I must say, at this point, I am overwhelmed, quite honestly, with the enthusiasm that I see here in District 3141 at your district conference. You should be very proud of the kind of display of genuine enthusiasm that you have presented to us this morning. Please. Actually, as Harjeet has said, we are here representing two very favorite people of ours, Mark Maloney and Gay. And we're here today to represent them, not because they would not like to be here themselves, because they would, but as all of you know, there are 530 some districts in the world, and they can only get to some of them. It's physically impossible for them to be at all of them. But they send their best wishes to you, and they've asked Lois and I to represent them at this wonderful conference, which we are delighted to do. Actually, this is the first time that we have been to Mumbai, speaking of Lois and myself. But we have been to India previously. We were here about 10 years ago at New Delhi, Agra, and Jaipur. But we did not see a place that we really wanted to see very desperately, and that is Mumbai. And the reason why is, yes, is because we have a long association with this area and with your district. And I'm going to briefly touch upon that and share with you some of our wonderful experiences with your district, even though we have not physically been here. I am from a small club, well, it's a club of about 180 members. And also, Lois is also a member of Rotary. She just joined about a year ago. So, but we belong to a club in Topeka, Kansas. Kansas is right in the middle of the United States. And I have been a Rotarian for about 36 years. And so back in the early 2000s, I developed a friendship with another individual in our club. In fact, he just joined our club, and his name was J.D. Lacani. And J.D., as you might suspect, is from India. J.D. had joined our club in Topeka, and I found out as I got to know him better that he had family, of course, in Mumbai, and specifically I became aware that he had a brother who lives in Mumbai at that time and still resides here. And his brother is Himmat Lacani, and some of you may know him as he is a Rotarian in District 3141. Well, it wasn't very long before we began to think about projects that we could do in Mumbai. Our club in Topeka, Kansas, and a club in Mumbai, India. And what we finally came up with back in the early 2000s was a project that involved providing polio reconstructive surgeries for especially young children and youth who had experienced the disease of polio. And at that time, as you know, we were fighting the battle of polio as we continue to do today. But for these young people, they had the disease, and so what we could do for them is to improve their lives by providing reconstructive surgery to straighten their limbs, to provide calipers or other prosthetic devices so that they could get up and walk along with the rest of us in the world and be able to have mobility despite the fact that they had had that terrible disease. Well, anyway, we developed that project, and having done so, we began to think of some other things that we might do in connection with our partnership between Topeka, Kansas, and Mumbai, India. Well, it was about that time that I became district governor for District 5710, which is my district. And in the fall of 2005, I began planning to attend the International Assembly, which is where the governor-elects go, and then it was to be held in San Diego, and they go there to learn how to become a really good district governor. So I went there in 2006, and at that time, I became acquainted with someone who would since then become a lifelong friend. And that is a young surgeon from District 3141 in India. And you might well have guessed that that individual was none other than Bharat Pandya, who is my counterpart on the board of directors today. So Bharat and I, as we were preparing to become district governors, along with our spouses, Lois and Madhavi, we had a great time in San Diego learning all the things that a district governor should know. But then we also began planning what we would do in our governor years. And what we planned were several things. We planned a group study exchange, and as most of you know, that's where a group of Rotarians and a non-Rotarian from, like my district in Kansas, will visit various places in your district, and then a team from your district would come to Kansas and visit with our folks in Kansas. So we had a wonderful group study exchange team. They came to Kansas, and our team came to Mumbai, and it was very, very successful. Then we also began to plan some other projects that we could do. And Bharat had an excellent idea for a project which was called providing check dams, whereby we could collect water during the rainy season here in Mumbai, and that water would be available later at times when the rain had stopped to be used for agricultural purposes. So we had what was then called a matching grant in Mumbai, and again, this was a product of the collaboration between Bharat and myself as young Rotary leaders. Well, to fast forward, the years went by. Bharat continued to be involved with foundation activities, as did I. Bharat was an RRFC, for you RRFCs in the audience, and as was I. And about every other year or two, we would see each other at the International Convention, and we kept in touch with what was going on in our respective lives as we continued to provide leadership in Rotary. Well, it wasn't long before, after I became district governor, I began to think some years later, would I want to be an RI director? I finally was approached about that, and I was asked if I would like to be a director of Rotary International, and I did go on the board and am serving currently in my second year as director, serving the period of 2018 to 20. But during my first year, I got word that a young person that I had known for many, many years from Mumbai, India, was going to come back on the board, was going to come on the board of directors with me. And guess who that person was? None other than Bharat Pandya. And let's please give him a hand, because So I have the pleasure now then of reuniting with the Panjas, and one of the things that we have done is that when we figured out that we would be on the board of directors together, and thinking of all the things that we had done in the past, we had had a mobile medical unit that we sponsored, and we had several other projects that were born out of the partnership between Mumbai and Topeka, Kansas. So we decided we ought to have another project as we serve on the board of directors together. And so as a result of that, we have come up with a project that is actually is being implemented in Topeka today. And that's a project involving attacking the problem of human trafficking, which is a problem all over the world, as you know. And human trafficking is a problem in Topeka, Kansas. It's a problem, I'm sure, in Mumbai, and it's a problem in many places all over the globe. So we decided to collaborate on at least one more, not matching grant, but global grant. And so having agreed to do that, we went back to our district leaders, and we said, could you support a project, a global grant between Mumbai and District 5710 in Kansas, and support establishing what is known as a drop-in center in Topeka. Now in Topeka, Topeka is a sleepy little town. You wouldn't think anything there would be the least bit questionable, but in a recent year, as many as 200 complaints had been filed with law enforcement and with other agencies complaining about human trafficking that existed right in our own community. And we were appalled to learn that such was the case. But in any event, as a result of the collaboration between Bharat and myself and our districts, we did put together a global grant application, and we took, I think the figure was $20,000 of DDF, or designated funds from your district designated funds and 20,000 from ours. And we got some support from my local club. We got matching from the foundation. And the final result is that we have instituted a drop-in center for young women, primarily young women, in Topeka who are suffering the effects of human trafficking in that area. And that grant has been filed and approved for $120,000, which is the largest global grant that we had ever had in our district. And that was a result of the collaboration between your director and my friend, Bharat. So I wanted to mention this to you for a couple of reasons. One is to emphasize the long-term relationship that Lois and I personally have felt with your district and the people in your district that we've gotten to know over the years. Secondly, I wanted to celebrate the fact that Bharat and I, even though 15 years ago we sat there side by side as district governor-elects, now here we are sitting side by side on the board of directors of Rotary International. And what a coincidence that is, and a pleasant one at that. Secondly, though, I wanted to emphasize to you not necessarily the collaboration between this district and our district, but as an example of what Rotary does all over the world, in all the places where we come from, whether it be Mumbai, whether it be Kolkata, whether it be in South America, in Bangladesh, and we've had projects in my district with all of those areas, but it just shows, as our president, Mark, says, Rotary really does connect the world. And I think as we get ready to enjoy this conference, and we are really looking forward to it, we're going to see a great example of how Rotary really does connect us. It binds us together. It makes us understand and have empathy for each other, and it shows that Rotary is a valuable asset to our world, and we need to do everything we can to support it in every way possible. So having shared those thoughts with you, and I'd like to say, first of all, that this person standing up here, listening very patiently, I could not do any of the things that I have done in Rotary, or for that matter in life, without her support and standing behind me. Yes. But I would like to say in that connection that those of you who are spouses, whether you are Rotarians or Interwheel or whatever your connection is with Rotary, we really appreciate what you do to make this all happen, because without your support and your involvement, I know we would not be able to achieve the things that we are achieving in Rotary. But having said that, so I thank Lois and I thank all of you who are supporting your Rotarian spouses. But having said that, I would like to say at this point, we're looking forward so much to this week to see firsthand, first of all, SMART, and I'm very anxious to learn everything I can about SMART as we go through the week. And secondly, to learn how Rotary connects the world, and also learn how Rotary opens opportunities, as Holger Kanak has told us at the International Assembly back in January. So thank you once again, Harjeet, thank you to the convention chair and to everybody, and thank you to Bharat for supporting our coming here to be a part of your convention. And if there's anything that we can do to help you in any way as we go through the week, please let me know. But we're looking forward so much to getting to know each and every one of you. So again, thank you for having us here.
May I invite Dr. Bharat and Dr. Madhvi, Gulam, Ashok and Nayantara ji, Vijay and Kiran, as we offer a traditional welcome to our RIPR, Larry and Louis. Romy. Come on, ladies and gentlemen.